I'm not a singer-songwriter, by the way, as Phil is. I'm a very unusual kind of a person. I sing other people's songs. I harvest the songs instead of writing them myself. Seems like when I need to say something, I find a song that's just saying it for me, and I love it that way. She made the Georgia peaches, the Australian beaches, cliffs along the Moonlight Bay, the lindens and the larches and the metatarsal arches, molybdenum and DNA.
They used to call her the Fort Knox of folk music. I don't know if you've heard that before, but because she knew so many songs, she knew hundreds and hundreds of songs, and within a couple of years, up to a couple of years of her death, she could sing them just like that.
The biggest part of her legacy might be the folk club. That was in her house for 40, 50 years.
It was very much part of the times, you know, and there would be 50, 100 people here smoking dope in the street because, of course, they couldn't smoke in the house, and drinking beer and so on and so forth. And at that point, Faith wasn't the doyen, in a sense, of it.
Now she said, I beg your pardon, but would you spare my garden when you put your pipeline through? And your wires and your towers electrocute my flowers, and would you spare my bird bath too?
My mother did not allow herself to be cowed by the fear tactics, and they were tactics basically designed, I think, less to catch criminals or catch dissidents than to make people afraid and be quiet. I see how important that is, how absolutely essential it is not to allow them to silence you. And much of what my mother got known for later on was so easy compared to that, for opening this house. Well, it's a big house, and she liked having people in, and maybe she was a bit naive, but it was great, you know, and everybody had a good time. But that's different than not being able to have insurance because you have black friends.
If I talk to women who were in their 40s when they met her, that is really what they get from her, you know, that she was doing exactly what she wanted. She showed that they could too, that they could be independent, they could continue in the culture, continue, you know, those things.
And she's been standing in the way of progress. Someone ought to sit her down. Except for a couple of window boxes, she doesn't have a place in town.
Even before she knew she wanted to be a traveling folk singer, was an extension of what must have been the joy that my mother felt when she left home, when she got through college, and when she discovered that it was all right to be who she was.
She delighted in aging. People would say, oh, you're, 87 years young. She'd say, I'm 87 years old. I've earned every one of my years.
In Ojai, we would put up in a motel that had a swimming pool. And so we were out there in the evening because it was rather warm, and we were all around. And Faith comes out in her all together, and she said, if you don't want to look at an 87-year-old nude woman, just don't look.
Oh, here's to Mother Nature, here's to Mother Nature. I know she needs a good long rest. She acted like a child and just let things grow wild. Obvious that we know best.
People looked up to her because she was an older woman being absolutely herself, doing what she wanted.
She didn't have a great voice or anything, but she had this onstage charm that was amazing. Because she was an older woman, she wasn't what you call gorgeous, but she would charm audiences. She knew how to do that.
She really connected with her audience in a way that very, very few performers have the ability to do.
You ain't been doing nothing if you ain't been called a red.